Right everyone, it is Finn here, and in today's video I'll be giving you guys 5 reasons why you should watch football at the Tokyo Olympics. Now of course, Euro 2020 has just come to an end, and if you're anything like me, you're just sitting waiting at home for club football to start again. But wait no more, because within the next week the Olympics will be starting. One of the most famous events in sporting history, and you know what's at the Olympics? Yes, the glorious game of sevens rugby, but also football, and for some reason football at the Olympics has never been extremely popular, but in today's video, I'll be giving you 5 reasons why you should actually be watching football at the Tokyo Olympics. But before I get into my 5 reasons, let me just remind you guys that I do post content on this channel on a regular basis, and if you do like regular football content, then please do consider subscribing down below. I'd love to reach 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. The support on this channel throughout the Euros was absolutely insane, so thank you guys so much. But guys, without further ado, here are my 5 reasons why you should watch football at the Tokyo Olympics. Now, reason number 1 why you should watch football at the Olympics is because you get to watch so many new exciting teams that you don't normally get to watch on a regular basis, unless you're actually from that nation itself. But by that I mean every now and then at the World Cup, every now and then you get a team like Panama who will enter the competition, a team you don't watch on a regular basis unless you're from that nation itself. You get to see Panama in the competition. It's always exciting to watch teams like that because you don't know what to expect. Or at the Euros, you get to see teams like North Macedonia or Finland play against the top dogs. And as I said, those games are always fun to watch because you don't get to watch those teams on a regular basis. But when it comes to the Olympics, almost half the teams that have qualified for the Olympics, you never get to see on a regular basis. And there are so many top nations missing out of the Olympics due to their unique qualification process. Another way that you qualify for the Olympics is there are 6 different continental qualification processes that you qualify either through Olympic qualifications or under 23 tournaments. That is why we get to see so many teams that we don't watch on a regular basis. For example, looking at the 16 teams at the Olympics this year, for the Asian teams that have qualified, we've got the likes of Australia, Japan, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia. For African teams, we've got Ivory Coast, Egypt, and South Africa. Finally, South Africa. A reason for me to appropriately say is it's coming home. Come on, South Africa, you better do me proud. Then we go on to the North and Central Americas along with the Caribbean, where we've got the likes of Honduras and Mexico who have qualified for the Olympics. So we don't even have the likes of USA. We then move on to the South American teams that have qualified with the likes of Argentina and Brazil. We've then got Oceanic teams, which it's just New Zealand. And then finally we move on to the European teams with the likes of France, Germany, Romania, and Spain. As I said, there are so many teams amongst those 16 that you never actually get to see play. I mean, we don't even have the 2 Euro finalists with the likes of Italy and England qualifying for this competition. Now, interestingly enough, England can't actually qualify for the Olympics as England doesn't go to the Olympics. Great Britain goes to the Olympics. But the reason there's no Great Britain men's team is because the English, Welsh, Scottish, and Irish Association have all agreed that they don't want to lose their separate identities and therefore will not put forward a team for the Olympics. Reason number 2 why you guys should watch football at the Olympics is not just because you get to discover new teams that you've never seen play before, but you also get to watch players that you don't get to see on a regular basis. Yes, when you watch the likes of Honduras or Saudi Arabia, you're bound to hear of players' names that you've never heard before in your entire life. But ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 things you need to know about the Olympics. First of all, it is not a UEFA run competition. Unlike the World Cup, unlike the Euros, it is not associated with UEFA, meaning if you play for a UEFA associated club, whether it be an English Premier League team, Spanish La Liga team, or any other European team, your club is allowed to deny you the chance of playing at the Olympics. That's why Liverpool were allowed to deny the likes of Mohamed Salah to play for Egypt at the Olympics. Second thing you guys need to know is that it is an under 24 age category competition, meaning all of the players in this competition are youngsters fighting for their future. You are allowed 3 exceptions though per nation, but for the majority of it, they are young players fighting for their future. It is normally an under 23 category competition at the Olympics, but because the Olympics were last year, they have bumped up the age category just because those players who wouldn't have qualified this year that would have qualified last year still get a chance. But I really like this under 24 age category rule because it really allows players to really shine for their nation who normally wouldn't be the shining star. For example, the likes of Argentina, you know Messi, Di Maria, and Aguero would have been the shining stars for their nation. But now you get the players with the likes of McAllister, the Brighton midfielder, gets a chance for Argentina. Looking at Spain, you get the likes of Minguisa and Cucurella, get a proper chance for their nation. Looking at Brazil, yes, you still have some top names in the Brazilian national team, but normally Neymar would be a star in the team. But now players like Douglas Luiz, the Aston Villa midfielder, gets a chance in this Brazil squad, which, yes, if you watch the Premier League or Aston Villa, you know who he is. But maybe other nations and people who watch other leagues don't know who he is. I think this rule is absolutely fantastic because it really gives players that you don't get to see very often a shining chance. Reason number 3 why you guys should watch football at the Olympics is because you can watch female football. Now, the reason I've put this one on the list is for multiple reasons. First of all, I just like watching my football, so the more football that's available to watch, the happier I am, to be honest with you. And second of all, we've been hearing for years now how much female football has improved over the years. You now do get household names such as Alex Morgan, and obviously because of the growth of female football, the audience has grown. So if you are a female watching this and you do like female football, which I can't imagine if I have many female viewers, you now get the chance to watch your teams play at the Olympics. And the last point I have about female footballs is there are different nationalities. Obviously there are 12 female teams going to the Olympics, but you also get the likes of China, USA, Zambia, Great Britain. There are more teams that aren't on the men's side that are playing for the women's side at the Olympics. So if your nation isn't represented at the Olympics, you can now do so through the female team. As I said, maybe lots of people don't think of female football as the same level as men's football, but you know what, the more football to watch, the better. And as I said, women's football has been improving. Reason number 4 why you guys should watch football at the Olympics is because you guys get to witness some of the biggest names in football within one competition. Yes, I know I said early on that you guys get to witness some young players build their careers that you've never heard of before, and that's why it's so exciting. But what would football be without its household names? It would basically be a whole new sport if you didn't recognize anyone in the game. And there's definitely a handful of household names going to the Olympics, whether they don't play for a UEFA associated club or whether they play for a UEFA associated club, but their club still allowed them to go to the Olympics. Brazil, for example, they've got the likes of Richarlison up front from Everton, the brilliant young striker, falls in the under 24 age category anyway, and he will be able to represent Brazil at the Olympics. You also get the likes of Dani Alves in the Brazilian right back position, the most decorated right back in football history. In fact, he's so decorated they're considering renaming Christmas in Brazil Dani Alves. Dani Alves is probably twice the age of half of his teammates playing for Brazil. But we truly get to witness some household names in this competition. I think there's a beautiful mixture between household names and players you've never heard of before, which is what makes this competition so beautiful. Even looking at the likes of Ivory Coast, for all Manchester United fans out there, you guys get to see Amad Diallo and Eric Bailly represent their nations. Looking at Spain, you guys get to see Asensio, Simon, you get Dani Olmo, some fantastic players that are becoming household names nowadays. There are some big names in this competition. As I said, the mixture between unknown players and big name players, I think is what truly makes this competition so beautiful, and it's going to be interesting to see who shines for their nation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to our final reason why you should watch football at the Tokyo Olympics. But before I get into my final reason, I just want to tell you guys how much fun I've had recording today's video. And if you guys have had fun as well, and you've enjoyed today's video and you're not subscribed, please do consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I try to post videos as often as possible on this channel, and I try to bring you guys content that I think you guys will enjoy. So of course, if you do like regular football content, please do consider hitting that subscribe button down below, along with commenting in the comment section down below what kind of content would you guys like to watch in the future, just so that I know I'm making content that I think you guys will enjoy. But getting into the final reason of why you should watch football at the Tokyo Olympics, Japan just do sports differently. Trust me, as a real sports fan, when it comes to all sports events, Japan have impressed me on every single level, whether it's their Hong Kong Sevens, their normal rugby, basketball, and even over the last few years, their football culture and atmosphere has been absolutely amazing. They really know how to create a proper sporting atmosphere, and something tells me at the Tokyo Olympics that things will be no different. And that, ladies and gentlemen, those are my 5 reasons why you should watch football at the Tokyo Olympics. As I said, over many years, football's kind of looked over at the Olympics. No one really cares about football at the Olympics. But those are 5 reasons why I believe you guys should watch football at the Olympics. I know I'm going to. I think football's going to be absolutely insane. As I said, I'm excited, especially to watch players that I've never really heard of before, some underrated players, some big names in football. I think it's going to be a party all around, but I hope you guys also watch the Olympics. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section down below, will you be watching football Olympics? Won't you be watching football Olympics? Who will you be supporting at the Olympics? Who won't you be supporting? I just want to hear your guys' opinions on the matter. As I said, this has been Finn FYNN. Make sure that you are subscribed down below. The support over the last month has been insane, and I would like to continue that support, but thank you so much guys for your support over the last month. I really do appreciate it, along with hitting that like button down below. But guys, I'm so excited for the Olympics. I hope you guys are too. This has been Finn, FYNN. Stay awesome. Cheers. Bye.